U.S. retail sales stumble as inflation bites Washington. U.S. retail income fell in May as motor vehicle purchases declined amid rampant shortages, and report high gasoline prices pulled spending away from other goods. The first drop in sales in 5 months pronounced by the Commerce Department on Wednesday additionally recommended that excessive inflation was starting to harm call for. It followed in the wake of principal outlets like Walmart (NYSE), WMT, and Target (NYSE, TGT) cutting their earnings forecasts due to price pressures. Still, the susceptible retail income will not divert the Federal Reserve from its competitive economic coverage tightening path to bring inflation lower back to its 2% goal. The U.S. important financial institution is expected to raise its policy interest fee in a while Wednesday for a third time this 12 months, with an boom of 3/4 of a percentage factor visible as possibly. While excessive personal financial savings and robust task and salary growth help, consumers are dealing with stiff headwinds from 4-decade excessive inflation, unexpectedly growing borrowing fees, and the endure market inequities, stated Sal Guattari, a senior economist at BMO Capital Markets in Toronto. The Fed will want to look a sustained length of weak point in home demand and probable hard work markets before respiratory a sigh of relief at the inflation front. Retail income dropped 0.3% ultimate month. Data for April turned into revised lower to expose income increasing 0.7% in preference to 0.9% as previously said. Economists polled by way of had forecast retail income gaining 0.2%, with estimates starting from as little as a 1.1% decline to as excessive as a 0.5% increase. Retail sales are normally items, and are not adjusted for inflation. Sales rose 8.1% on a year-on-year foundation and are well above their pre-pandemic tendencies, supported by way of massive financial savings and growing wages from a decent exertions market. The decline in monthly retail sales turned into led by means of receipts at auto dealerships, which dropped 3.5%, the most important fall in almost 12 months, after increasing 1.8% in April. China's zero-COVID-19 policy has exacerbated a worldwide semiconductor shortage. Online store sales fell 1.0%. There have been declines in income at electronics and appliance retailers in addition to furnishing stores. But income at building material, garden device and resources stores gained 0.2%. Receipts at sporting items, hobby, musical tool and e-book stores extended 0.4%. Clothing shop sales edged up 0.1%. Sales at offering stations surged 4.0%, pushed by way of document high gasoline expenses. The country-wide average price of gasoline jumped to an all-time excessive of $4.439 consistent with gallon in May, in step with records from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Prices on the pump at the moment are approximately $5 in keeping with gallon. Excluding gasoline, retail income dropped 0.7%. Food and beverage stores sales improved 1.2%. The National Retail Federation stated the vulnerable sales underscored the want for the White House to repeal price lists on Chinese items. Retail income are reflecting Americans developing subject about inflation, NRF President Matthew Shea said. Retailers are doing what they could to keep costs down, however we maintain our name at the administration to repeal pointless and pricey price lists on goods from China to alleviate stress on purchasers. The economic system's waning fortunes were also highlighted by way of a separate record from the New York Fed showing production pastime in New York country remained susceptible in June, with order backlogs declining for the first time in over a year. Confidence amongst single-family homebuilders dropped to a 2-year low this month, a third document confirmed. Stocks on Wall Street have been better. The greenback fell in opposition to a basket of currencies. U.S. Treasury charges rose. Services back in vogue. The decline in retail sales also contemplated a sluggish rotation of spending from items to services. Receipts at bars and eating places, the most effective services class in the retail sales record, expanded 0.7% last month. It's possible clients reached a saturation point for items spending and at the moment are transferring closer to better leisure spending heading into the summertime months, stated Will Compernol, a senior economist at FHN Financial in New York. Excluding motors, gas, building materials and food services, retail income were unchanged in May. Data for April changed into revised down to expose these so-called middle retail income growing 0.5% in preference to 1.0% as previously reported. Core retail income correspond most closely with the purchaser spending issue of gross domestic product.